So I was asked by the magnificent Maisie how painting on leather works, whether it cracks when it's finished, especially when it's painted on jackets. So I'm going to do another leather paint piece on here. This, what you're seeing me painting on now, is a faux leather bag. I paint on bags quite a bit, as well as jackets and journals. I will do a slideshow at the end of some of the pieces I've done. The key thing for painting on leather is, or any type of fabric, is don't buy the cheap stuff. You don't have to go wildly expensive, but you, especially if it's things like jackets, you need it to be washable. You need it to be thrown into the washing machine or wiped with a cloth so it stays pristine. And yes, it's not good if the paint is likely to crack. So the paint that I use is called Angelus leather paint. It was recommended to me by friends who make leather products, and they recommended this brand. It works beautifully. Now, the bags that I paint are very soft, very pliable. So obviously they're going to be bending quite a bit. You don't want the paint to crack. It doesn't. And it's also wiped clean. Now, there are two things about leather paint that you need to know. A disadvantage and an advantage. The advantage is it does not come off. Once it's on the leather, it's set. It's not going to fade. It's not going to crack. Well, I've never experienced it cracking anyway. It's great. It's absolutely great. The disadvantage is it doesn't come off. So if you are painting on leather, you really need to make sure that it's only hitting what you're painting, whether it's the jacket or a bag or whatever it is. You need to make sure that it's not getting on any other part of the object you're painting, because you won't get it off. And even if you could, you're certainly not going to get it off without damaging the leather. So be very, very careful about making sure you don't get splashes or anything like that. One thing also to remember when you're using leather paint is keep it as smooth as possible. The first part of the video you'll see me putting the white base on for the face, and I spend quite a long time on that because it needs to be as smooth as possible, because although leather paint won't crack or anything like that, you don't want any lumps and bumps in it, because you won't be able to do anything about it. Especially watch out for brush hairs. If a brush comes away while you're painting and it gets stuck in the paint, you're going to feel that when it's dried. When you're painting, you will have to, it doesn't take very long, but you will have to spend time waiting for it to dry before you can put the next layer on. But that's also the beauty of it. If you make a mistake, if there's something you don't quite like, then you can go over the top of it and correct it. The other thing is, when you're doing the first little bit of base work, I would, especially if it's a dark paint, a dark leather, put a white base coat on, a loose outline of your object, or a loose silhouette of your object, because then the rest of the paint is going to show up much brighter on top of it. The white will be covered where you need it to be, but it'll show up a lot brighter on top of it. What you'll be noticing with this is I've skipped a bit because I lost the file where I painted the face, but hopefully there's enough here for you to see the progress of how this is done. I have sped it up because it did take me quite a long time. I don't work as quickly in paint as I do with pencil or pen. I see artists who sort of do a few brush strokes and that's the picture done. I tend to work and rework and blend and reblend. It's just the way I do it. It's probably because I don't paint as often as I do drawing. But I have started in the last couple of months making a lot of bags, well, painting on bags, journals. I get commissions for jackets, both denim and leather. Denim's a different matter. I'll do that separately. But yeah, you don't need to go massively expensive on it, but don't skimp on the price that you're paying for these paints. But the other thing is with brushes is the opposite. Is don't buy expensive brushes if you're using paint through the denim or leather, because the paint is so tough. It's just going to knacker your brushes. So buy cheap brushes for these. The subject matter for this is one of my favourite Stephen King books. I read it when it first came out. I used to read a lot of horror when I was younger, and this is the only book that I actually dropped at one point because I got so scared. It actually jump scared me. So there's quotes going alongside this. This is obviously the latest version of Pennywise, but I absolutely adore the book. I've read it more than once. It's so beautifully written, and Stephen King does childhood writing like he's up there. It's not just his horror. He understands about childhood. It's amazing. So if I've timed this right, I'm coming towards the end of the painting work here, and I will finish off by showing you the bag and then showing you some more examples of some leather work that I've also completed. So thank you.